I think the valleys have changed considerably now. They've become a lot greener, a lot more pleasant, but that doesn't replace jobs.
The mining industry was fantastic. Hard work when we first started. But I started in the 1950s when we still had the shovel. But some of the men used to go on a Saturday morning and then come out and play football after doing 15 or 20 ton of coal. I mean, how they done it, I can't. It doesn't. Looking back now, we don't know how we done it. And that was the difference.
Green grass now hides the ghosts of mining, with grey hostile clouds up above. Clouds that once had a silver lining, now all spent of blessings and love. I left school at 15. I left on a Friday and I started work on a Monday. At that time, there was about 2,000 men working here, and there was no earmuffs, no water control or anything. It was just thick dust and danger all around. Rats and cockroaches all over the place and what have you. And the first 6 months, they put me with a fella, and I worked in a conventional coal face. And it was 2'6" in height, and you'd be on your knees for 7 hours. Then one day I was coming out, and one of the haulage ropes hit me up in the air. So I was limping for a few days, and I thought it might be a warning.
I went to the Ronda one winter's evening and it was really cold to photograph a chapel and the service there on a Sunday. And after I photographed the service, I started walking down the hill from the chapel, and the colliery was at the bottom of the hill. It was a really funny experience, but for maybe 5 or 6 seconds, I really felt that I'd been transported back in time. And there was nothing around to say that I was in the present. It seemed like I'd gone back to the 1920s. When I go underground taking photographs, you go in the cage down to pit bottom, and from there you either walk to the coal face or you travel on conveyor belts. And the conveyor belts are, well, quite good fun, but they're a bit frightening because some of them are carrying coal, so you just go onto a sort of bridge above a conveyor belt and you jump onto it. Because you're not allowed for safety reasons to take any sort of battery packs, only the ones that the miners use on their helmets, what I had to do was use a camera which didn't have any batteries, so it was a mechanical camera, a Fuji 6x9, and I took a tripod as well, and the tripod, because it was made of steel, had to be put in a case, because obviously if you touched it or hit it against anything in the ground, it could spark and cause an explosion. I love going underground because from a photographic point of view, it is technically very tricky to get really good pictures because it's dark, because it's wet, because it's cold in some places, certainly filthy dirty, and you're in confined spaces. I paint the light onto the subject, which may be minors, so I have to tell them to stay still for 5 or 10 seconds, which is quite difficult really.
They went on strike for better wages, but the owners said, take it or go. Then tell you the pits were not paying, but at Elliott's, that was not so.
I read things about 1926 where there were soup kitchens and the miners' wives were demonstrating to fight for their husbands' jobs, and there was food parcels being distributed and money collected. And I never thought that I'd actually witness this in 1984 and 85.
If anyone ever told me that we'd make the same mistake that we did in the 30s, I'd have said nobody in their right mind could ever do that.
I hope that the solicitors, when working out the cost, will remember all the miners and the lives that were lost. But a taste of betrayal still lingers in this town with its share of the dole, while the mine owners are sitting pretty in Cardiff where we once sent the coal.